In the depths of a dense forest, a squad of 7 Algonquian natives moved stealthily, their bows and arrows at the ready as they tracked their target. The sun, high above the canopy, marked their progress. Their lean, wiry bodies were painted in rich colors of charcoal, ochre, and red clay, giving them a fierce appearance, a fierceness they hoped would scare off any spirits they might encounter. This was Besheki's first hunt, and he was determined to make a name for himself. Movement caught his eye, and he turned to see a female deer wandering a few yards away. Slowly, he raised his bow, closed one eye, and zeroed in on the doe. He slowed his breathing and sent the arrow flying. The arrow streaked like a missile toward the deer. It looked up just as the arrow pierced its eye. After a brief struggle, the deer dropped to the ground. Besheki jumped triumphantly, letting out a cry to alert his fellow tribesmen that he'd been successful. But when he walked over to where the deer had dropped, it wasn't there. Only his arrow lay on the ground, torn in half. Confused, Besheki searched the floor of leaves for the trail of blood that would surely lead him to his kill. But there was no blood at all. He backed away, shivers running down his spine. He called out for the others. "Kwe ekwa," he called, meaning, "Where are you?" No one and nothing answered him. Turning back to where he'd shot the deer, he paused. "Egushawa, is that you?" Besheki asked, staring at his brother. Egushawa held up his hand and gestured Besheki forward. But as Besheki approached, something felt off. The man standing there looked like his brother, but something was wrong. "Egushawa?" he said hoarsely. The figure nodded. "Say my name," Besheki ordered. The figure opened its mouth, but only a loud shrieking emitted. Besheki ran, the figure running parallel to him through the woods, not like any man. "Come here," it said. "I won't hurt you." Turning to look, Besheki saw that the thing was seamlessly transforming from his brother running on his hands and feet to that of the doe he'd shot, the arrow jutting from its eye. The sight frightened him so much, he tripped and stumbled to the ground. He heard the grunt of an animal and looked up, seeing the thing that feasted on souls. The creature had hollow eyes in a sunken face, skin ashen gray like the recently buried. One side of its body was a skeletal collection of bones, browning from exposure. The other side was covered in leathery skin, ripped and torn, revealing the bones beneath. A foul odor surrounded it, the smell of rot, dank earth, and feces. Flies buzzed around it like a vibrating shadow. It tore a chunk of flesh from its body and tossed it down to Besheki.
Eat!
"Eat!" it rasped. Besheki, trembling, took the meat and took a tentative bite. Then tribal yells pierced the air, and the creature fell, with Egushawa atop it, stabbing it with his silver dagger. Egushawa broke through the creature's ribcage and ripped out its still beating black heart. "Are you okay?" Egushawa asked, and Besheki nodded. "What was that?" Besheki asked. "Wendigo," Egushawa said solemnly. They burned the Wendigo to ash and scattered them. Night fell as they started their return home. One by one, they all went missing. Only Besheki made it back safely, despite having an arrow in his eye. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the notification so you won't miss a video. Please let me know what type of stories do you want me to do.